I am back with another reading vlog. I think this is going to be another mood reading vlog. I really want to do some reading challenges and, you know, try to do like 7 thrillers in a week because I think that would be super fun. But lately I have already known what books I want to read and none of them kind of have a similar theme. It's very much different books from different genres right after another. So I figured I would just update you guys so far on what I've read in the past week and then just continue this reading vlog and see where we end up at the end of the week. I did read one book that I didn't film any kind of vlogging stuff for, and I'm currently reading the second book in that series. I'm going to talk a little bit about that series, and then I also just finished, literally like 20 minutes before filming this right now, I finished an audiobook and I've just currently started a new audiobook, so we will talk about all of those. The book that I have already read that I haven't yet talked about in any kind of reading vlogs is the first book, and this was a recommendation from my sister, who we do have very similar romantic-y tastes. The book that I actually already read is A Court This Cruel and Lovely on my Kindle. I am gonna give it a 4 stars. Honestly, between 4 and 4.5. I haven't quite made up my mind. It was actually really, really good, and it did give me ACOTAR vibes. So A Court This Cruel and Lovely is a fantasy romance, and it is enemies to lovers. We do love an enemies to lovers. And basically it's within a world that has humans, fae, and hybrids, which are fae/humans. So they're, you know, like a fae and a human got together, they made the hybrids. The hybrids aren't allowed to exist in the world. They have to figure out ways to exist because the human king and the humans have magic. And when they're born, they do this ceremony thing where a priestess comes with this rock. It takes the baby's magic, so the human baby's magic. And if the stone accepts the magic, then they are fine because they're definitely human. If the stone doesn't accept the magic, they're a hybrid and the king will just kill them on the spot. So the human king is evil. And our main character, Priska, and then the main guy that we follow is Lorien. Priska is a hybrid. She is trying to not let everyone know that she has magic, but when you turn 25, you have another priestess ceremony thing where they give you back some of your magic that they took from you as a baby, but because she still has her magic, it wouldn't work, and then the king would just kill her and her whole family. Priska ends up having to go on a journey to figure out her place in this whole world and how to make it better, basically, is all I'm gonna say because I just don't want to give anything away. And she meets Lorien along the way, who I'm not gonna tell you anything about him because it's better if you just find out in the moment while you're reading. I definitely gave the book 4 to 4.5 stars. I can't decide which because it definitely wasn't ACOTAR level, but nothing will ever be ACOTAR level for me. And I definitely recommend, if you are a fan of enemies to lovers, fantasy romance, I think you would eat this up. It's not really too complicated. When I first started reading the first book in the series, I definitely felt a little like, whoa. And I even Marco Polo'd my sister, and I was like, girl, how are you keeping these names straight? Like, there were so many names introduced immediately, and I was like, I don't know who anyone is. But as you keep reading, as usual, you start to get to know the characters and you place the name with the character. I'm halfway through the second book, called A Kingdom This Cursed and Empty. And I'm not sure how many books are in this series, but I'm on chapter 15, 53% of the way. And I am absolutely loving it, both on Kindle Unlimited. That is where I'm at so far with those. And then I just finished the audiobook for Home is Where the Bodies Are. And this was kind of a letdown for me because I saw quite a few people talking about this book. I think maybe on TikTok. I think like halfway, or at least 60 to 70% of the way through the book, I figured out the ending. As much as I like to be given clues for a thriller book, I don't like to know the ending. I almost want to be led astray, but then I complain if I am led astray. But I complain in a way that's like when you tease someone, but it's because you're best friends. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, how could you do that to me? But it's also like, but I don't hate you for it. Like, I actually like it a little. Like a Riley Sager book where you think you know everything and then at the end he throws it in, you're like, son of a, but like you love it though. But it's in a fun, good way. So it was a 2-star for me, honestly. I was not super into it. And I honestly wouldn't recommend if you are a fan of thrillers and maybe even horror, because it didn't give me that rush. There wasn't any point in it where I was like, oh my God. Like I didn't have to ever stop to be like, to catch my breath and like, I don't know, pull myself together, because it never reached that point. I was just like, Okay, so those 2 books are done. Vamoose, they have been read, and now we're moving on. So like I said, I'm reading the 2nd book in the court, this Cruel and Lovely series, right now on Kindle. And then on audiobook, I literally just started this book, Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. So with Earthlings, I haven't heard much about it, but that's what intrigues me. I'm listening to it on audiobook. I'm 28 minutes in, and I'm still apparently on chapter 1, 7% of the way through. So I've still got 6.5 hours basically left of this book. So that is my current Kindle read and my current audiobook. And then I actually have FantasticLand by Mike Bockoven. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Bockoven. And it's due in 18 days, and it is on my Kindle from the library. So I really need to get to reading that book. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to finish the 2nd book that I'm on right now on my Kindle of the fantasy series. Then I can start FantasticLand. Okay, so here's the synopsis of FantasticLand, which I'm going to read after I finish the book I'm currently reading on my Kindle. Since the 1970s, FantasticLand has been the theme park where fun is guaranteed. But when a hurricane ravages the Florida coast and isolates the park, the employees find it anything but fun. 5 weeks later, the authorities who rescue the survivors encounter a scene of horror. Photos soon emerge online of heads on spikes outside of rides and viscera and human bones littering the gift shops, breaking records for hits, views, likes, clicks, and shares. How could a group of survivors, mostly teenagers, commit such terrible acts? So that one sounds more of horror rather than thriller to me. I will give you guys more updates as I keep reading.
Survive. Whatever it takes. What do you mean? I want us both to stay safe so we can meet again next summer. I want us to promise that we will do whatever it takes to survive and be in good spirits when we meet up again next year. Okay. We decided that you would look after...
Now that that 2nd book ended on a cliffhanger, I'm kind of like, I just want to read the next ones, but I'll hold off because I do need to get this one finished, and I am really excited to read it because I've heard great things. So it's called FantasticLand by Mike Bockoven. And in the meantime, I do want to give you guys an update on Earthlings. And I also don't remember if I told you guys what Home is Where the Bodies Are was even about, so I need to do that as well. Okay, so quick update on Earthlings, first of all. I'm about 40% of the way through, I believe. It's definitely definitely a horror book at this point. Like, it's pretty horrifying just what this little girl goes through. It's told through the eyes of a like elementary school age child for the first part of it. And then I just got to the part of it where I think that little girl is now grown up, but I'm not completely sure. It kind of took me by surprise. And I don't know if it's because I just wasn't paying close enough attention to like what I was listening to or what, but all of a sudden she was now an adult and I was really confused. So I'm still trying to process all of that, but so far it is just a devastating look into like the trauma that can happen when you're just a kid, and that feeling of having to obey your elders, of I am not worth anything unless I am of use to other people. It's definitely like a very deep, dark book. But I am enjoying the process of listening to it. There's aspects that I feel like everyone can take away of, oh, I felt that way as a child or went through a different situation, but the feelings were the same, if that makes sense. It's definitely a darker read, so you have to be in the right mental headspace and definitely check triggers. And the book has a lot to say. Can't wait to finish it. And now let's talk about Home is Where the Bodies Are. I don't think I gave a description of what the book is about. So there's two sisters and a brother. Their mom passes away. So then the kids are left to kind of pick up the pieces, deal with the will, that sort of thing. They're at their childhood house because that's where the mother was when she died, blah, blah, blah. And all the siblings have kind of taken their own path. The book delves into each different sibling. It's told from each of their perspectives. I just felt like it was more focused on that than it was on the actual thriller mystery part of it. It felt definitely more about let's dive into each sibling and how they feel about each situation. And I just didn't really care about it, so that's why it didn't really do it for me. But they watch a tape, and on the tape, someone dies and their parents are somehow involved. It wasn't shown that the parents killed the person. It was just shown that there was a dead body and their parents were somehow involved. So I felt like it took forever for that to even come into play, in my opinion, for someone that is an experienced thriller and horror reader. It just didn't do it for me. But anyways, okay, now we're gonna read FantasticLand and I'll give you guys updates as I go about my day. I have finished Earthlings and I have finished FantasticLand. I'm going to try to describe Earthlings in 3 words or less because honestly, there's not much that I haven't already said that I could say that would not give things away. So I'm just gonna say disturbing is definitely a word that I would use to describe it. Unique. The things that happened in this book, and I feel like the way that it was written was very unique to me. I haven't read books that are super similar to Earthlings at this point in my life. Reflective. I think really, I don't know if that's the right word, but what I mean by reflective is after you listen or read Earthlings, it's one of those books that you're gonna sit there for a minute and just be like, what did I just read? And also, what was it trying to tell me? I'm not gonna lie, after I listened to Earthlings, I definitely Googled Earthlings Explained, only because the ending I had a hard time coming to terms with / grasping. And if you've read the book, comment below and just let me know, like, am I alone in that? Or did you guys get it? Maybe it was because I was just listening to it and I just didn't, I don't know, listen hard enough or well enough. But at the very end, I just was trying to picture what was happening that was being told to me in my ears. And I was just kind of coming to a blank where I was like, wait, what is going on? Like, I can't picture this. Earthlings would make a great movie. I want to say that right now. Like, it would make a great movie. Someone needs to turn it into a movie. But yeah, I was like, what the F is going on? And I feel like I'm missing something. I can't say anything about the ending because I really don't want to give it away because I wasn't expecting it and I loved that I wasn't expecting it. We all know I love an unexpected ending, and that for me definitely gave me an unexpected ending. I definitely recommend. Now, let's talk about FantasticLand. FantasticLand is a 4.5 for me. I really do want to give it a 5 stars because of how hooked it had me. I absolutely loved it, and I recommend to anyone that loves a thriller or documentary style read, and horror, and a little bit of horror. But I guess mostly it was horror and not thriller. But I did feel like the thrill was that it kept getting darker and darker, and you wanted to find out else had happened and like what other dark stuff had happened. So I feel like there was that bit of thrill to it, but a lot of it was more of like the horrifying, like it was honestly kind of around the same vibes as Earthlings, just in a completely different way. But it also took a look at society and kind of human nature and just what it means to be a person, but in a different way. than Earthlings. Like they both are completely different vibes and different books, but they have that similar thing of after you read it, you kind of reflect on like what humans are to their core and also what part society plays in how we act as humans and stuff like that. I don't know. Both of them were very interesting reads, and I recommend both of them. They were fantastic, fun, FantasticLand, haha, fantastic. But they were both really fun reads too. I mean, although they were both very disturbing and horrifying, it was still really like entertaining to read FantasticLand, listen to Earthlings. So, I had a great reading week this week. I really did. If you liked the premise that I told you guys about it earlier and it interested you at all, give it a read. Earthlings was really good too, but FantasticLand had my heart this week. Like it was so freaking good. Give this video a like so that I know that you guys want more reading vlogs. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more content like this, because no matter what, I'm definitely going to be doing more bookish content as much as I possibly can, as frequently as I can. But it does take a while to read books, so it's not gonna come as frequently as I would like. I would love to post a bookish video every single day. There is not enough time in the day for that, and I don't read fast enough for that. Let me know, you guys. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a wonderful week, and I will see you guys in my next one.